I'm John Seacott, Executive Editor of Brewer. Welcome to another edition of the Brewer Podcast. We are sponsored by Square and Keg Logistics. Make sure you're liking and subscribing to our YouTube and Spotify channels. And of course, we're available 24 hours a day at brewermag.com. Usually get into it really quick here, but I just wanted to take a moment to recognize the life of I'm not going to be able to make it through this. This intro is going to take a while to get through. But I just wanted to at least start by honoring the Aaron Grizonik, who passed away at age 47 of pancreatic cancer after battling for 4 years. He's the owner of Patron Saints Brewery in Toledo. They would have had their 10th. They're going to have their 10th anniversary. I'm hoping that things keep going. But I at least wanted to start by honoring him and letting people know how much he was an important figure in the Toledo beer community, and we're going to miss him a lot. So it's going to be a rough week in the Toledo area, but I'm looking forward to seeing what people can do to rise above it and fuck cancer. All right, on with the show. Like we said, we're sponsored by Keg Logistics and Square. Running a restaurant is a lot. You start out with a vision for something special, but that vision gradually gets overshadowed by the day-to-day of it all. The thing that I love about Square is how it helps take some of that pressure off so you can actually enjoy why you started what you're doing in the first place. When Square steps in, helping you save on food costs, you get your menu seen by millions on Cash App and get delivery payouts faster. It frees up time and mental energy in a world where both are typically in short supply. Square, here for the magic that's not on the menu. Go to square.com/good stuff to get started. That's square.com/good stuff. And also don't forget, you can go to keglogistics.com/brewermag for more details. For many brewery owners, growth feels like the goal. You open the brewery, you add some tanks, you add a second location, you expand distribution, you keep moving forward. But what happens when the path isn't a straight line? Well, in today's edition of the Brewer Podcast, we chatted with those that know that story firsthand. Barry and Heather Van Dyke of Harmony Brewing Company in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Along with their brother Jackson, the three siblings built Harmony from a bootstrap neighborhood brew pub into one of the Grand Rapids' most recognizable independent brands in Beer City, USA. Over the last 15 years, they've experienced rapid growth, expanded into a second location, navigated through COVID, closed a beloved beer hall, shifted their production strategy, entered distribution, and continually have been redefining themselves on what success looks like in the craft beer industry. In this conversation, we talk about the surprises they never saw coming, the mistakes that taught them the most, the realities of running multiple hospitality businesses at once, and why maintaining a healthy company can sometimes be more important than chasing the next growth opportunity. So if you've ever wrestled with expansion decisions, wondered whether distribution is even worth the effort, or questioned what sustainable growth really means in today's craft beer landscape, this episode is going to give you a candid look behind the curtain from the owners who have lived it. So here's Barry and Heather Van Dyke of Harmony Brewing Company on the Brewer Magazine podcast. Cheers, Grizz. This Brewer Mag podcast is sponsored by Keg Logistics. Now's the perfect time to review your keg management strategy. Whether you're seeking a truly flexible keg rental program or intrigued by the seamless distribution freedom of paper fill, Keg Logistics is ready to craft a personalized solution for you, ensuring you receive the kegs you need precisely when you need them. For details, visit keglogistics.com/brewermag. Keg Logistics, modern solutions for keg efficiency. When you guys first had the concept of this, what was the Grand Rapids market like, and how did you see yourselves putting yourself in a gap? Find yourself, and are you still there? Like, are you where you thought you would be?
I mean, it's kind of hilarious because we started the plans of opening up this brewery in 2010. So we bought the building and we did all the work ourselves. It took us 2 years to get open, but when we started working on the project, we thought we had a novel concept. Like there's founders and schmoes and a couple other breweries in town, but no, Vivant wasn't even open yet.
Oh, okay.
So we finally got the doors open in 2012, and I think there's like 10 or 15 more that opened up that same year, and Grand Rapids got called Beer City, USA. But yeah, when we've always lived in Easttown. This has been the neighborhood that we were in. We've always been super neighborhood focused, And then my brother and I were just really into home brewing. And so when we had the idea of, what do we want to do for business, um, just kind of combining our love for the neighborhood and what we thought would be like a really cool gathering space in the neighborhood, and then brewing beer, it just kind of was our thing. So that's kind of as much market research as we did at the time.
We grew up in Chicago. One thing about being in Grand Rapids is that it allowed us to kind of explore an idea and build something by one foot in front of the other. And like Barry said, it took 2 years to open. That's because they did all the work in this building themselves and gutted it and got scared by ghosts.
There was ghosts. There might still be ghosts.
I must be happy about it then if you're still here.
The ghosts are approving of what we're doing.
I was pregnant with my 15-year-old daughter at the time. At the time that we opened, being able to like have an idea and think like, oh, this could be cool. Let's figure out if we can make this work.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was totally bootstrapped. I mean, we've got some of the surfaces you can see in here were like an old gymnasium floor, got church pews, reusing, some of the materials that were in the building. And our brewing system was made entirely out of old dairy tanks that we moved into the basement. This was a house that had a liquor store on the front of it. So we cut the floor out of the kitchen in the house, just dropped it down and put these dairy tanks in here. And so everything was just kind of figuring it out as we went. And that's how we got the doors open.
But it is interesting because at that time, it was very much open up somewhere in an industrial yard, throw some benches out, have a tap list, and you're open for business. And nowadays, I think as you've matured, you see like, wow, we struck that perfectly, because nowadays if you don't have food, people are walking past you.
Yeah. It might be the difference between opening as a brew pub versus a microbrewery. And then one thing that's been really impactful is that we are in a neighborhood and it's a super residential neighborhood. And so we're lucky to be able to have people who are brewery people and people who are like, this is my Friday night pizza place. And so we've grown to meet all those expectations by being a neighborhood place in addition to being a brewery.
Yeah, and I think we were influenced too by some of the beer culture in other countries, like in Germany, like much more of a family-friendly kind of we were a brewery, we were going to have beer, but we wanted it to be a neighborhood space, a kid-friendly space. And so just having food.
We all had little kids at the time.
We all had little kids at the time. So yeah, we were trying to do something that was more than just a brewery. It was also, we were very intentional about having it be a neighborhood nexus point. So that'll kind of work together. And then it ended up being way tinier than we needed it to be immediately.
Our bar is too small.
Yeah. Is there a moment somewhere in that beginning stage where you're like, this is clicking, this is working? Like, did you see it at the beginning? Did you feel like there was early struggles, and how did you overcome those initially, or did you get to that point like, this is working for us?
It worked so well right off the bat that we were like, oh, we can't keep up with production here with our like sized up homebrew dairy tanks.
Right.
And so then we purchased Harmony Hall and bought a big system. And so we had to answer for that pretty quickly. And we were just like, great, this is what it's like to be in business.
Right. Like, let's go. But yeah, it was pretty quick after we opened. And that we outgrew the space. And so the original time when we first opened, that lasted maybe 2 years before we were already moving and trying to expand our footprint.
Which felt precarious because that's like one of the number one rules, like don't leap too fast, but we had to.
Do you remember what you wanted the company to be, and where is it in that original vision? Like, has it adapted a lot? Are you happy? Do you think if you showed yourself 15 years ago, this is what we're going to be now,
right,
how you guys would feel about it?
I think we'd be surprised. Like it really has evolved a lot from that original. I've got my original business plan still written out, and it was pretty naive in a lot of ways. With what we thought we were going to do. Yeah, and I don't think what we're doing now matches it at all. We've gone from one location to having two locations to moving back to one tap room and then having an offsite production facility. And all these things just happened in, as we tried to evolve to, the current uh, market and what the demands were. So we had the first location here. We opened up a second tap room, and then in that second tap room, we put in the big production facility with big tanks. And part of that was that we were still a brew pub at the time. So as a brew pub in Michigan, you're not allowed to distribute your beer. That's the trade-off. You can have a full liquor license, full bar, uh, but you can only serve your beer in house. So we had to expand. We thought we'd just go ahead and put another restaurant in there as long as we're expanding our beer production. Um, yeah, and so that wasn't in the original cards at all. And then after running that for a while, um, we walked away from the hall, which was a hard decision to make, and moved all of that equipment into a production facility off site and changed our license up. And so now we are a microbrewer and we're distributing our beer. Um, so all of that is completely different than what we thought when we first opened up. So
We were talking about earlier about how when you first start out, you think like, okay, we'll every time we learn something new, we'll be building upon our strength and our trajectory will just be like this solid line,
right.
And it's been so much more of this, and not to mention like COVID right in the middle of it, which just completely changed fundamentally everything.
Right.
So yeah, that's been, I mean, a big part of us doing this in this time frame is learning how to pivot and stay in the game.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be, speaking of COVID, I used to ask this question, especially early on to people, what's your definition of growth? I think I'm going to start asking that question again because the thought process for so many people has changed in the last 5 years. What is your definition of growth now?
I mean, it's definitely changed. In some ways, we're still in a recovery mode in some aspects, not in all aspects, but and prices are still rising right now, and so we're still in that like having to do these big adjustments. And so just being able to stay on top of it, it's maybe not growth, it's like let's maintain, and then let's make decisions and choices in a way that still reflects our values, still reflects who we are, what we want to do, what we want to make, what's important to us. Yeah, so that's a like
We did really shift our focus from growth with multiple locations to growth in the distribution, and it's been a challenge because we've been a brewery for 15 years and starting a distro business in our 13th year of business, like a whole new thing.
Sure.
And so, but it's also, I mean, starting from self distro very locally right around here 2 years ago, there's endless potential for us to grow in that way. So that's what we're really trying to focus on right now for growth.
right.
With distribution, is that kind of the big learning curve right now? Has there been other learning curves, like even just finding good cogs, finding the KPIs to look at to be able to make yourself more sustainable and have the you're playing with margin, you're seeing where you can lose margin to gain somewhere else. I mean, like how
Right.
much of this has become spreadsheet wars for you guys?
Oh man, spreadsheets are constant. It's just and then it's something can look great on a spreadsheet, and then you try to make it work in real world, and it doesn't match up. But yeah, it is. It's the relationships, finding the distributor relationships, finding the retailer relationships. It's constantly second guessing and questioning our supply chain, and um, making sure that those price increases have to actually be price increases.
Right.
And we're trapped in one way is that our prices, especially on the distro side, they keep going up, but the retail price of things, like there's not a lot of wiggle room there. So we're still selling a 6-pack for $11.99, which is, I think we don't want to go any higher than that. But my aluminum costs keep going up, and my grain costs keep going up. But yeah, so it is. I mean, there's nothing comfortable about it at any point in time. But we do it because we love it, right?
Yeah. And it's funny because I just wrapped up writing a story that's going to be in the next digital edition about the importance of data, being able to play with those numbers, but like relationships with your vendors are more important now because you do see the more you talk to them, the more you can work together. Like it's not just you're looking at an order form. Sometimes and obviously bulk is better.
Right.
But like, how do we make these numbers work so that we're going? Because like they want to stay in business as well. They want your business.
Right.
You have some of that ability to work with them. Have you kind of reeled back and looked to see where you can work yourself better, and have you changed vendors or something like that in the past just to be able to continue forward?
There's been some things where I've moved. When we were smaller, I could just order beers one batch at a time, and moving from that into ordering a lot more base grains in bulk and things like that. That was a learning curve and also a huge cost saving. Yeah, the more our volume goes up, the more we actually have flexibility with where we can get our stuff. And like you said, the relationship with the vendors is great. And I love working with some of the Michigan vendors around here too. And we're trying to get more and more Michigan products into our beer because I think that's what really makes it worth doing what we're doing. Like creating a local product, a high quality local product. That's what people are looking for. So
and we were talking about too, like it underscores how important it is if people really love like craft beer and want to support the local, truly local craft beer. Like this is a moment where you really need to stand up and do that because we don't have as much play with economies of scale where we can be like making these big deals as prices are pretty volatile. We're just trying to maintain a product we feel good about and work our values, and so yeah, we're out here
hustling.
Yeah, we're hustling. And so yeah, supporting your local small guy is really important.
So you brought up Harmony Hall, and obviously I wanted to talk about it. What was the biggest lesson you learned there?
What we learned, and this isn't necessarily true for everybody, but like it made sense on paper for us to have a second location, that we would be able to do what we did here and replicate it and give it. And we weren't trying to do the exact same thing. We were trying to do a new vision and a new iteration of Harmony in a new location, and take cues from the neighborhood there. It ended up taking a lot more out of us than I think we anticipated, as far as almost diffusing the amount of energy that we can put in and cutting it in half instead of being a force multiplier and giving us twice as much. It's like our energy being pulled in two locations was pretty exhausting. And it was, I mean, I would never go back and change it. I loved our time at Harmony Hall. But as far as having two locations to run, two tap rooms to run, I think we felt much just more authentic when we finally said, and it was a very difficult decision, that we said we're just going to go back to having just our one tap room that we started out with, and that's going to be where we really focus the face of our brand. And there's other reasons too why we had to close the hall. We did want to start distributing our beer, and Harmony Hall was a historic building in a kind of a dense neighborhood where you couldn't ride a forklift in and out and get into and there was no room to put in another canning line. So if we were going to get serious about distribution, that building just wasn't going to work. So like multiple things, like I said, the pressures of keeping two locations and then wanting to shift up the business model. It really broke our heart though to close that place. I mean, you walk through the front door, and that was a front door that I built out of raw white oak, rough sawn lumber. I built it by hand. The bar was all built by like old barn wood, and and we had a lot of original artwork in there and all the fixtures and stuff. So we poured our heart and soul into it. So it's hard to walk away, but yeah, it's evolution, right?
How did it differentiate being in a different neighborhood, being in a different piece of someone else? Like, how did you guys make Harmony Hall different at the time, or how did you make it the same culture, the same vibe? Like, what was the pull in there?
That was a learning process too, but part of what we did for both locations is to take cues from the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And so we built this based on East Town, and we built the hall based on the West Side. And the culture of that building, it was an old sausage factory. So we were like, shit, we're
gonna make some
we'll make some
sausages.
sausages.
Yeah, we did some cool stuff. We did whole hog butchery.
Which we were being very idealistic with that, and found quickly that like you can't charge $25 for a sausage, which is the labor that goes into the whole hog.
Not in this town, anyway.
Yeah,
we were making the bread from scratch. We were making
everything
all the
was from
pretzels
scratch, and we were like, "This is delicious."
Yeah, it's great, but it was a lot of work and a lot of labor. But yeah, like we took a lot of the same values that we had. We were, making things from scratch, using whole ingredients, using local farmers, and we had a lot of the same kind of art. The artists that we work with kind of carried over from place to place. But then we call it the Harmony Hall because there's a lot of the old halls on the west side of town, the Polish halls, and so we were calling it a hall, and it was cool. We had Alp horns and all kind of like polka music and stuff. It was a really fun place.
A lot of things have changed for you guys. Customers change as well. What have you noticed in what a customer is now versus a customer is pre-COVID? Because it's been such a big differentiating factor. And we were talking even before we started, like coming up with events and getting people here and getting people to drink your beer here, and now with distribution,
right?
Finding you guys on a shelf or finding you on tap somewhere, and still having that connection to this place. This Brewer Mag podcast is sponsored by Keg Logistics. Now's the perfect time to review your keg management strategy. Whether you're seeking a truly flexible keg rental program or intrigued by the seamless distribution freedom of paper fill, Keg Logistics is ready to craft a personalized solution for you, ensuring you receive the kegs you need precisely when you need them. For details, visit keglogistics.com/brewermag. Keg Logistics, modern solutions for keg efficiency. Running a restaurant is a lot. You start out with a vision for something special, but that vision gradually gets overshadowed by the day-to-day of it all. Now, the thing that I love about Square is how it helps take some of that pressure off of you so you can actually enjoy why you started in the first place. When Square steps in, helping you save on food costs, get your menu seen by millions on Cash App, and get delivery app payouts faster, it frees up time and mental energy in a world where both are typically in short supply. Square, here for the magic that's not on the menu. Go to square.com/goodstuff to get started. That's square.com/goodstuff.
I think that, we were part of a brewery roundtable before, or I was, and every single person was like, you got to focus on events. It's events driven now because people have less money to spend. And so you've really got to stand out as a place where there's either something special going on, or you've done a really good job of making it their third place, where if they're going to spend some money, they're going to come hang out with you because that's what they do. They come on Thursdays and they have a beer and they have a pizza.
Right. Yeah.
So, people have less money to go around. And so, like, getting your mug club has to be really strong, and just that loyalty, different events. And, you can't abandon great food, great beer, great service. That has to be there. But that's not going to be enough to pull people in consistently anymore. So just your job expands. I spent a lot of time on events and puppy pool parties.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the food. How does that make things more complex? Does it make it more rewarding, though? Because you are being more ingrained in someone's life than just serving beer. You're actually feeding them. I mean, that's a completely different aspect of being part of someone's life.
It's hard to imagine a brewery being able to make it without having a food component. I mean, we were lucky that we didn't have to scramble and come up with it.
Yeah.
It was a part of what we did from the very beginning. and it's a part of what people love about us. They really love our pizza. And I mean, it for sure adds a dimension of complexity. Like our, the labor involved in running a kitchen is
When we
it's
opened up in
complicated.
2012, I mean, the base wage was probably like $10 an hour or $11 an hour, and it's gone up.
Yeah, things have gone up a lot.
Definitely shot it up like crazy, and it's not slowing down. So, like labor and the kitchen side, it's so competitive just to get people to work, and the wages are so high that it really is a stressor. It's a financial stressor to balance, the cost and the labor from the kitchen. It's way more complex than if we were just serving the beers. But I don't think we'd have the crowds that we have without the
Not
the
at
food
all.
component. So.
No, and I mean, I was talking to our chef the other day, and one of our ingredients on one of our classic best-selling pies, it's literally doubled in the last 2 years. Like not even
Not even 2 years.
5
It
years.
was like 4 months. I thought you said.
Maybe it was 4
It was
months.
prosciutto,
but
and it was it's something that
it's doubled.
It's doubled.
So and there's at first we were like, oh, pizza is a universal platform. Everybody loves pizza. You can be like hitting somebody who's like, I want a cheese pizza, or somebody who's like, give me something really creative and challenge me.
Yeah.
But you still can keep it simple. Your food costs can be relatively tight, and that's a struggle at this point, honestly, because there's a cap at which you can charge for pizza. Same with the beer. The prices are going up, but
Right.
So it's a get back to our values, like, what are we trying to do, and how are we going to manage this? And so
we've talked about switching it up too, because I mean, pizza it's a delightful thing because you buy one for the table and everybody splits it. And then you go to another restaurant and they've got burgers and they've got sandwiches and stuff, and you see that everybody's actually spending $15 on their entree and they're not splitting it. And we're not really spending less on labor to make the pizzas. We're just, because of what we're putting out there, it's harder to make the numbers work.
Well, this is an example of what we're talking about before. Like that trajectory is not like this. Like something that worked fantastic before, we have to be like, oh, is this concept need to be tweaked? And then how do we tweak it according to who we are? And so it doesn't stray far from what we're offering. But yeah, we have to look at things we've never really held so high before. Like, what's our per person sales on on the pizza?
What does Harmony Brewing bring you joy the most?
It's the beer, man. I love beer. I really do. Every once in a while, I just sit back and I'm just drinking a beer and I'm still taking it back. Like the sunlight goes through it and it just creates this prism, and it's just such a magical beverage. It's just a privilege to be able to have this be what our business is all about. And I think that's something that the craft industry, in some ways, kind of lost sight of that a little bit. We all started chasing trends and like getting caught up on making seltzers, ready to drink cocktails, and people are talking about THC beverages and like how that all fits in. And I'm just happy to be focused on the beer and making good quality, honest beer. And that really does, still to this day, even though I've drank far more than my share of it, it still really brings me joy.
We have a picture that Barry sent us. It's on our Instagram of him having a beer on his front porch, and the sun is actually like shining through it, and he does have the biggest cheese and smile. So that's exactly what he's talking. And I was like, can I put this on our socials? Yeah, of course.
How about for you then?
Well, I mean, he works in making the beer, creating it, and being in the distro, and I'm the tap room. And if I'm not the tap room, I'm more like community and relationships and stuff. And so for me, I want to say one more Barry thing. We do vinyl nights on Thursdays, and Barry does every third Thursday with vinyl. And sometimes I'll be able to catch him up there just like playing records, cheese, and drinking a beer. So I think that's a pretty joyful thing for me. But yeah, I think like a couple of weeks ago, we had somebody who was like, "Hey, can we do our first look pictures for our wedding pictures here because we had our first date here?" Then I was like, "Of course, can I get some of those pictures again for socials?" But I get to hear lots of those kind of stories. Like, I met my wife here, and we come back for all of our anniversaries, and then like we do a Christmas tree lighting every year in our parking lot, and we've done it for I don't know 8 years now.
Yeah.
And then in those kind of moments where you can see like it's part of people's traditions and the people come back every year.
Yeah.
And then if you can manage a moment between like making sure everything is going how it's supposed to like step back and look and be like, oh, this is something we've created. And it's important to people, you know, like it's a part of their lives, it's part of their holiday tradition. One of our hosts was here on the first day that we opened. He was in kindergarten.
Yeah, now he's a host.
And now he's our host, and he just turned 18, and now he's a server, and you know, like.
And we on that Christmas, or we call it a holiday tree because we say to people, everybody in this neighborhood, bring something that actually represents your tradition and the way that you celebrate at this time of year. And so everybody comes and they bring ornaments and they hang it on our tree. Then every year I take them all down and save them, and I'll put them back up the next year. So I'm like looking at these things from 2018, and they've got like little kids handwriting on them and stuff, and it's just so beautiful to see. And they all say like, we love Harmony or we love Easttown. And yeah, it's just this beautiful thing to see like how we've integrated into this community.
Yeah, and we need to be reminded of that because the wake up in the middle of the night, like, oh my God, those moments. We need to, you know, it helps us to feel good about it all, that it's all worth it and it's working and it means something to people. And so, yeah.
That's awesome. Well, that's the I guess the business side. We kind of ended a little more personal too, so that's kind of neat. And I always like to finish with goofy, fun, get to know you a little bit stuff. But the one, and it's going to be a two-part question, I guess, is because this is a pizza place as well. I've asked this question to people in the podcast before: the crust, the cheese, or the sauce, what makes the pizza best?
Oh, I mean,
because we really care. Oh no, what are you gonna say?
I can't differentiate between those three because when I go to a pizza place, I'll order just plain cheese, so I can taste the crust, the cheese, and the sauce because those three things are everything.
Yeah.
Like all the toppings you can put on there that are crap without that. That's the platform. And so
that's why I asked those three questions.
Right. I mean, I grew up and I used to work at Aurelio's Pizza in Chicago, which,
the Pope's,
by the way, that's the Pope's favorite pizza place. But anyway, their slogan was "It's the sauce," and so you know, the sauce does have a lot to do with it, and we intentionally keep our sauce very fairly straightforward and simple, so it's not overtaking, you know, too much of what you're trying to do on the pizza. So it's just tomato, garlic, and olive oil and salt. It's very simple. And then the dough we're very careful with. We make sure we ferment it for long enough. We ferment it for over 24 hours so that it gets the full flavor. And then our cheese is a blend of different cheeses, so it's just got that nice salty greasiness to it. And really the three of those things, I couldn't pick which
That's
one.
a Sophie's choice, dude. You cannot do that to us.
So, second part of that question, I think is, does pineapple belong on a pizza, or is there something else that does not belong on a pizza? Because it's always a controversial topic.
Well, we have a pizza that's one of our best sellers called the Aloha Goat, which it evolves from, we had one called the Hey Goat, not because there's goat cheese, and then our house sausage, and then we added pineapple to it. So it's the Aloha Goat, and that's a really good pizza, and we sell it.
But personally,
oh, I like that pizza, but I'm trying to think of this.
We'll char the pineapples too, like they're charred in the oven, so it's not just straight up pineapples. I like a pineapple on my pizza. I don't mind. I'll tell you what I don't like on my pizza, and I've been kind of a jerk about it since we opened because
I know what he's gonna say.
People don't agree with me, and it's green peppers. And the reason why I don't like green peppers on a pizza, even though I'll eat green peppers all day long, there's something about the water content. When you put it on a pizza, it just changes the texture of the cheese. And it makes it really soft. And There's just something weird that happens. So, and also, if you put green peppers in the line in the sandwich top, it starts to make everything around it have a green pepper like taste to it. It's like it migrates. And so I've always just been a jerk, like, no green pepper. Like, why not? It's a classic topping. No.
I like anything on a pizza. I maybe don't like ground beef on a pizza, but I don't think there's a place in Michigan that does that. It's maybe more of a different Midwestern. Yeah, ground beef on a pizza.
Just ground beef.
I mean, yeah. I mean, sell me, but
yeah,
I don't know.
All right, I haven't asked this one in a while. First concert, last concert, worst concert.
I got the best first concert.
Okay.
When I was 15 years old.
Oh God, you do.
1994, I saw Nirvana playing in the Aragon Ballroom in Chicago, and I got my ass kicked in the mosh pit. It was the awesomest show in the world, man. It was their In Utero tour. Man, that was cool.
What was your first concert?
There's probably New Kids on the Block. I'm not even close to as cool as Barry on that one.
I still haven't seen it.
Oh shit. My last one was U2 at the Sphere in Las Vegas with Barry's wife Becky.
I didn't
Who's
go.
been my lifelong friend as well.
Yeah.
And that was
That's my next concert.
pretty
It's the
amazing.
Sphere.
Who's going to be there?
Metallica.
Oh, that'd be cool,
shit.
actually.
February of 27, so I got some time to wait. But
All right.
I'm sure I'll go to a show before that too. But that was a lot of fun to wait in line for 4 days in a row. Me and my buddies on speakerphone trying to get into these shows because it was like October, then they added November, then they added December, and then once they got to February, we gave up. And my buddy found them on a secondary site, so we're going in February.
That is cool. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
They saw Metallica together in Green Bay. This will be my first time seeing Metallica, so I'm looking.
Never seen Metallica. Metallica is like one of those universal bands. Like people who like all different kinds of music are like, yeah, Metallica.
Yeah.
They can cross genres.
Yeah.
What's your last concert, then, Barry?
The last one I went to, I think the last concert I went to was actually Iron and Wine downtown Grand Rapids last summer. It was a great show. They had this really cool puppetry that's happening alongside of it. It was neat. Yeah.
Remember your last? Oh yeah, you did the last show, right?
I'm trying to think of my worst.
Yeah, worst.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Because of me, or
Yeah.
Sometimes it's on stage, sometimes it's off stage. It's shenanigans. So yeah. While you think, I'll say my last, because it's changed since the last time I did this. I took my son to see Good Kid at the Jack White Theater in Detroit.
Oh, cool.
oh, nice.
Canadian band. I would say they're popular because of Roblox, if that tells you like the genre. Like,
and you said your son's 13,
13,
right?
yeah.
Nice.
So, but it, of course, now it shows up on my, John's favorite playlist because I made a playlist to listen to on the way there. So now I just listened to Witches on my way here today. So yeah, Good Kid, and it was a great show. Like, it's cool to be able to, like, we don't get we're not sports. He's not a sports guy. I am, but like music wise, I'm so glad that he's picked up the love of live music. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I love live music too.
Yeah. No worst concert?
I don't know. I'm drawing a blank, but as we talked about, the forgetfulness is really.
Yeah.
Do you have a worst concert?
I can't say it's my worst concert, but I did
I think
see
I have one. I have one.
Something that was pretty funny one time. I mean, so I was at a festival and they had lots of different bands, and I thought I would go see the Beach Boys. This was last year. The Beach Boys were playing, and so
what was it? Shaky Knees.
Bourbon and Beyond, and so I want to see John Stamos because he's supposed to be the drummer for the Beach Boys. So I went there specifically to see John Stamos, and he was not the drummer. And then these octogenarian like guys like barely moving singing the Beach Boys songs, but then Brian Wilson was obviously not there. Yep. So, but then the drummer who wasn't John Stamos ended up just capturing my heart because he's like the one guy that you see like the video of who's like the wrong person for the band. He's just like going like this. He's standing up and he's twisting the drumsticks, and he's got like an animal, stuffed animal, and he's got it in his mouth, and he's like jamming on the drums like that, along with him going like, Help me, Rhonda. Yes. I almost had a heart attack. I was laughing so hard.
A heart attack of glee.
Yeah.
I remembered one really quickly.
Okay.
My husband and I went to one of those fish festivals, and I love fish.
Mhm.
When people bash it, I don't understand. But I think it was in the late '90s, and they do like they took over like a old like military base in upstate New York, and the concert was great. But by the second day, there's no water. The toilets were completely overflowing. The person that we were up there with decided he was going to vend spaghetti, which is a weird choice. So our tent was just full of sticky spaghetti. So it was a little intense.
It's hilarious. It's like a great hippie idea. It's like, I know what I'll do to make money on the fish tour.
Spaghetti. Screw those burritos. He was a chef, so he thought he had a good idea. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, awesome, guys. I appreciate you taking the time and enjoying a beer. Well, cheers, but
yeah, I know.
So we'll have to get another one.
All right.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you. Oops.
This Brewer Mag podcast is sponsored by Keg Logistics. Now's the perfect time to review your keg management strategy. Whether you're seeking a truly flexible keg rental program or intrigued by the seamless distribution freedom of paper fill, Keg Logistics is ready to craft a personalized solution for you, ensuring you receive the kegs you need precisely when you need them. For details, visit keglogistics.com/brewermag. Keg Logistics, modern solutions for keg efficiency.